Hey guys, it is MissSimReno. If you are returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you are brand new, I am very excited that you decided to join me here today for a new episode of our Eco Lifestyle Let's Play. We are back in Evergreen Harbor with the ALCALA family. So last time we left off, we really introduced you guys to Malakai and his wife, Elise. And basically, Elise went out and she tried to start gathering inspiration for her new clothing line that she would like to produce. And it is basically recycled couture. That's her name. And Malakai basically has been reasonably unbothered by basically everything. He didn't want to really partake in the gardening with Elise. He kind of had no desire to do so. He's actually really been focusing on, well, his robotic skill. So as you can see, he's really getting a hang of it here. He actually just got this robotics workstation, so he could actually start doing some work-related tasks at home. So he's actually making a couple of mechanisms right now, and to be honest, this definitely is not helping the eco footprint in this neighborhood at all. Malakai hasn't really met anyone in the neighborhood. He doesn't really have the desire to. But Elise did meet a couple of the neighbors, including the Tinker family, which she kind of sort of got along with them, just like a little tiny bit, but not, I don't know, not that well. She didn't really kick it off with them, but she did at least interview them for kind of like their fashion style. She took a couple of sketches, and she did write up a blog post, which was received reasonably well. People have been very curious about the different styles that she's been writing about, but yeah, I don't know. As you can see, Malakai has taken over the attic a little bit with his crafting. Elise actually was reading up on fabrication a little while ago because she was like, you know what? I've always wanted to make some things. I'm just going to try my hand at it. Granted, she was a little overwhelmed as she started to read the books on how to actually craft some materials. She was thinking it was a little too complex, so looks like she decided to take a breather and just kind of end her day. But Malakai here is making some mechanisms because it is part of his daily task for work. It looks like it's already complete, but I do actually want him to get the robotics skill up to 7 because it is something that he wants as well. He's also extremely excited about this new workstation. He is a materialistic sim, so his new little buff here says, I love things. There's a certain special joy in basking in the newness of one's recent purchases. So he is honestly just on cloud 9 with having something new and shiny, and honestly, it's probably a little cold. Looks like he's not very experienced. He's also burning himself, but yeah, they're kind of settling in. Now that it is fall, it's going to get cooler, and I think what they're really trying to do is ensure that the garden is basically in place and thriving prior to it getting too cold. And the community action plan, I believe that voting is still open. Yep, voting is still open until Monday, and at the moment, their community action plan is actually winning because Elise's influence on her neighbors actually put it up front. So they voted for green gardening so they could basically benefit off of the fact that they were fixing up their yard. Elise is up extraordinarily early, and she's about to listen to some pop music, but she's up extraordinarily early in her office writing up her fashion blog. Since the first one was so well received, she has gotten exceedingly excited to write another one. So the first one was actually just on oh gosh, I forget the two Tinkers' names now. It was on Tina Tinker, and then she's writing the one on Yasmin now. Since Tina's was so well received, she wanted to draft up Yasmin's as soon as humanly possible as a follow-up. And she was going to reach out to Tina today to let her know that she did write the blog post about her brief interview. Even though she isn't very, very authentic and she can be a bit superficial, I think she actually wants to, deep down, I think she really does want to become friends with Tina. She wants to form an actual friendship with her and have an authentic relationship just because Elise doesn't have a lot of friends at all. I think she's looking for someone to kind of bond with and connect with outside of Malakai. Of course she loves Malakai, that's not a question at all, but yeah, I think she actually kind of wants to make some friends, so she's hoping that she can kind of befriend Tina and possibly Yasmin as well, just to have a real friend. I mean, with her insecurities, because Elise actually is pretty insecure, even though she's very confident. She carries herself confidently, but it's because she's kind of overcompensating for the fact that she's a little insecure, and I think what she really, really wants is just acceptance. She really does. But she also is very self-centered in a lot of ways. So she does want to kind of use Yasmin and Tina. I think actually I was calling her Yasmin. I'm not sure the exact pronunciation that was intended, but I'm going with Yasmin. But yeah, I don't know. She wants true friends, but she also wants success. She's very much all about that. We'll kind of see how that relationship blossoms, but she's going to make her cafe latte, which she does every morning, same as like Malakai makes his macchiato every morning. And she's actually going to sit out on the porch with her coffee once it's done. It looks like the garden is kind of sort of thriving, I guess. Normal quality, everything's good. Nothing needs like watering or anything like that. Everything's in good shape. In fact, it looks like her basil, her basil is actually good to go for harvesting, which is really nice. And the apple tree looks like it's growing as well and doesn't need any attention. So maybe what she'll do as well is harvest all of this, or should she just sell it? No, I think she'll just sell it. Not that she's necessarily like fishing for the money here, but I mean, she might as well sell it because I don't think she's really going to be doing anything with it. I think she honestly is just growing this garden for looks because she wants the attention and the notoriety, like I've mentioned in the first episode. But I mean, it's thriving, so that's at least a plus. She didn't completely kill the plants yet, so that's good. I guess her green thumb is developing, slowly but surely. But yeah, so she sold all of the basil. Now she's just going to go sit on the front porch with her coffee, and Malakai is actually still asleep. And what we may do today as well is, since Elise does have work, I'm going to actually see if we have the ability for her to work from home so we can play through some of her work, because it obviously feeds into how she's going to interact with her community. As Malakai enjoys his very fancy spinach frittata that Elise actually made the other day. Quality is excellent, by the way. I didn't think she was that good of a cook, so that's kind of odd. But Elise is actually considering getting her own giant recycling machine. She doesn't want to always have to go to the, as she calls it, grimy, rude, but grimy community space, and she kind of wants to have her own at home if she's going to start trying to make like prototypes of and whatnot of the fashion line that she's trying to make. So I don't know, it's going to take some convincing. Malakai really does not see why that's necessary at all. Of course, he wants to support her, basically her endeavors. He wants to support her dreams and make her dreams reality and everything come to fruition, but he really doesn't want basically the eyesore. Like, he does not want the eyesore on his property. And even though Elise kind of agrees, she's like, well, can we kind of like hide it in the attic? And then they kind of got in a little bit of a tiff because he was like, well, all of our workstations are up in the attic. How are we supposed to put a giant recycler? Besides, that means that they'd be carrying like trash into the house all of the time because of that recycler. So they're not really going to buy one yet. So what Elise is going to do is she did actually send off that blog. She sent the link over to Tina, and Tina was like super excited about it. So she's actually going to give Tina a call, and she's going to basically kind of chat her up a little bit because she does know that the Tinkers are known for being like master makers, right? And she knows that they probably have the equipment at their house to be able to do some of this stuff. So she's going to finish up her style column, but she's chatting with Tina right now, and she basically wants to see if she'd be able to go over and use their stuff. She also has to take some pictures for her job, so she's hoping that maybe she can go over to their home, snag some kind of candid, like, at-home photos of them, maybe to update the blog or something like that. So we'll see if Tina's kind of up for it. I think she's been pretty receptive to Elise's friendship advances thus far. Again, I think it's because she's like, this girl's not from around here. I should probably be friendly. Like, she doesn't know her ins and outs here. Elise just showed up at the Tinker's house because Tina was like, you know what, come on over. If you have nothing going on today, please feel free to pop over and say hello. It looks like Tina's over here in her office, but Elise is blown away by their home. Because of the way that they dressed, she 110% judged Yasmin and Tina right off the bat. She was like, I bet they live in like a tin can. I mean, we all know Elise is a little bit hoity-toity, but yeah, like, I feel like she definitely thought that they lived in basically like a tin can, and she's now like, oh my gosh, wait a minute. These are not the people I was envisioning them as. Like, she is actually honestly a little embarrassed at the assumptions that she was making. So she now actually more than ever wants to really get to know Tina and Yasmin a lot more. So she is talking about fashion. She's interviewing her a lot more. And I think she wants to actually go ahead and ask if she could take a picture of her for the blog itself. So we're actually going to see if we can take a photo of Tina and see if this will work. Sometimes it doesn't work inside the homes just because of like objects and whatnot. So yeah, kind of like that. So we'll see if we can make this work. Yeah, can we take a picture? We can? Are we doing it? No, we're not doing it. Okay, where did she go? Wait, where did she? Oh, okay, there she is. All right, we're gonna try this again. But yeah, basically it can be really hard sometimes to take pictures like inside of houses, it seems, because there's like some pathway routing issues, space issues. Here we go. All right, so we're gonna get a nice little shot of Tina here, who personally I think she is like absolutely adorable. But let's see if we can get... Oh, that is quite the Vogue shot. I feel like this is exactly what Elise would be looking for. So we're going to go ahead and get a picture of Tina here. And that way we got a very good look at her look. And maybe we'll actually go ahead and try to get one of Yasmin too, if she's up for it. Also, not sure why things got a little laggy there. It kind of happens after I take photos now in the game. I'm not sure if that happens to you guys too, but it happens to me all of the freaking time. Yep, she can't do it here, so hopefully these two can kind of like go over here and chat, and maybe she'll have a little bit more space to be able to take this picture, because I feel like, I don't know, she's very conflicted right now. She just really is. So we'll see if we can get a picture of Yasmin here to also add to the blog, and then we'll kind of take a photo of basically the surrounding community as well. Oh, she's so cute. She's being bashful, but she's really cute. Oh, nope, that's a little upset. We don't want that one. We want something a little bit happier. There we go. That's a Vogue pose if I ever saw one. We'll go ahead and take that one. Perfect. All right. Well, Elise really did like genuinely appreciate kind of like checking out their house and them having her over. I mean, look at this house. It's not my favorite EA build, but I'm just saying it's definitely bigger and nicer than like half of the other homes around here. And actually, on that thought, we did also come over here to see... Oh, she's got a fabrication workstation thing, but does she have actually a recycler too? Also, if you can hear some banging, it's definitely my neighbors like upstairs and around me. So, looks like she doesn't actually have a recycler. Oh my gosh, is she admiring herself in the mirror? She's modeling a look. She is very about herself. All right, so it looks like the Tinkers actually don't even have a recycling like station. They actually just have the fabricator upstairs, which I don't think that Elise even has. I think she might have the skill, but she doesn't have the materials to do anything with that. So we're actually going to have to head to the community space so she can recycle a few different things. And she wants to get a shot of that space because, again, she wants before and after shots. And we're back at the community space. This is day 2 in a row that we've been here, and Elise needs to get a... Oh my goodness, if that is not a trash picture. She needs to get a picture of the community space so she can upload it to her blog as well. And she also wants to check in on the community space projects because she didn't actually take part in that voting. Looks like Tina actually showed up here too to recycle a few things. But Elise wants to kind of involve herself in the community space voting as well. So it could be a marketplace, a maker space, or a community garden. And she's kind of thinking to support the green gardening initiative, a community garden would be really nice, and she could get like the most influence points is what I'm thinking. She also has 24 to spare right now. She could make it a makerspace or a marketplace. She's kind of torn between community garden and makerspace because, like I said, community garden will help with the overall neighborhood action plan, whereas the makerspace is kind of something that, well, she wants to explore more and she hasn't really been able to dive into it, so she could kind of sneak off to the community space and see if she could try her hand at some crafting. So I think we're going to go makerspace. She's actually going to... Oh, and no one's voted so far, so 2 votes for that. 4 for you, Glen Coco. You go, Glen Coco. All right. And, of course, Malakai's at work right now, so we can't even really interact with him. Oh, hey, guys. We were just at your house. What's up? Oh, we got some dumpster diving. Katrina Caliente apparently is dumpster diving. Okay, then. Well, Elise has to go home, and she has to actually upload the images to fulfill her work commitment here, and she is working only until 6 p.m. So she has a couple of hours, but we're going to head back home, make sure that we upload those images, update our blog, and really get the word out there. As we got home, we actually got our bills as well. So this is my first time looking at the new bills breakdown. So since they're home, they are actually, that's so weird. So they actually have excess power, which is kind of odd. But they're not like generating any water. They really don't have anything on their home, right? I think the power actually is from their solar powered roof panels. Not the actual like solar panels, but their roof is solar powered, like literally the roofing tile or pattern or whatever it is. So they have excess power, which is actually really nice. They'll make about $25 there, right? But all in all, they have $297 of unpaid bills, or is it $595? Is that their total amount for bills? It might be here. So let's go ahead. Oh no, it's $297. All right. So their bills are actually super freaking cheap, by the way. That is not bad at all. And Elise is actually kind of floored that the solar panels really did that much. Oh, and their tree turned colors. It's so pretty. Oh, I love fall. I really do. Okay, well, the plants still don't need our attention. So we are going to head upstairs and we're going to make sure that she uploads those photos for work. Let's see. How do we do that, actually? Because it doesn't seem to be a thing under our, what's it called? Oh, is it just share image under social media? Social networking? Oh, maybe it is. All right, well, we'll see if that actually does it, because it just says upload images. Share them with the world by uploading images at the computer. Oh, and Yasmin's like, hey, I heard you became friends with my wife. Congrats. Thank you, Yasmin. That's very, very kind of you. All right, well, we're going to upload those to the blog, and I think Elise as well, she's kind of curious. She may be able to order... Oh, it was downvoted so quickly it wasn't funny. Oh, that's nice. I guess we couldn't, I guess people didn't like our photo. And she can't do the photos back to back. Oh, that's kind of a bummer. Well, she'll at least upload this one to the fashion blog and kind of do something there. And she kind of, since Malakai isn't home yet, she kind of wants to sneak upstairs and see what she needs to be able to go ahead and make her first candle. She's going to actually buy a cube of soy wax here, which she's hoping that she can find like a soy plant or something, since she's starting to explore gardening a bit. She's hoping that she can actually just like, oh my gosh, my neighbors are so loud. She's hoping that she can just kind of grow that stuff herself. That way she doesn't have to buy these materials all the time. And since she did some recycling, she does have some bits and pieces. So basically I'm learning as we go what the bits and pieces really do and how you get them and how you make certain things. So I'm kind of learning along the way here, but we're going to head upstairs and she's going to try to make her very first dipped candle. And she's doing it now when Malakai's not home, because even though he's supportive, he also, like, not so subtly undermines it a lot. And I don't know, it's just because he doesn't really understand. He doesn't really believe in the whole, like, upcycling thing. In theory, he loves it, but in practice, he doesn't really love it. So she kind of has to sneak around and do it a little bit. She's hoping that it looks really unused when he gets home, too, because he spends a lot of time up here on the robotics station. Yay! So Green Gardening actually did win as their very first neighborhood action plan and will take effect immediately. And Malakai is actually home from work. Where the heck is he? Is he just like hanging out outside somewhere? Anyway, looks like he has to actually go to the bathroom and like take a shower and stuff. But yes, so that's actually really good. So the very first neighborhood action plan passed. So even though our plants don't need anything, Elise definitely wants to basically capitalize on that. It'll last for about a week, but we do want to make sure that we're planting some things. And it is fall, so maybe we can get some seasonal plants here. Can we do that? We can't do it from the boxes. How do we do that? Why is she napping on the ottoman? So fun fact, it looks like grapes are the only fall seasonal plants. So Elise was able to actually get a seasonal seed packet, and she's gonna go outside and plant some grapes. And she did chat a little bit with Malakai, and she was telling him how much she actually really enjoyed being outside. And she thinks that she needs to get some more gardening tools to make this a little bit more efficient. She's starting to kind of come out of her shell a little bit more. And I think for the first time ever, she's actually starting to relax too. She seems pretty high strung more often than not, but she's starting to relax a little bit. Granted, she does not like really getting that dirty. She doesn't like being out in the heat, but she is actually feeling very fulfilled by planting things, watching them grow, and then harvesting them. Like, she feels very accomplished. And like I've been saying basically the entire episode, she's been pretty conflicted by all of these feelings because everything pretty much contradicts how she's been living her life up to this point. So she's actually very much enjoying it so far. It looks like Malakai just got a call from Bess. Oh, I was waiting for this moment. Bess says, hey, champ, so get this. I have a cool business idea. This is going to be the big one, but I just need a few more simoleons to get it off the ground. Like 1,000 simoleons. Do you think you could help a buddy out? You'll get it all back and then some, I swear. Okay. Do we actually want to continue to help Bess? What we're going to do, since Malakai is absolutely a materialistic sim, he loves a good investment. He's been very interested in investing, and I think that him and Bess have actually worked a bit, even though their careers aren't identical. So like Malakai's a mechanical engineer, she's a civil designer, but their paths have crossed in the industry, and he's kind of heard a little bit about Bess. He's not quite sure how he feels about her as like a person, but honestly, he's not against some backdoor deals here. He's going to give Bess 1,000 simoleons. And she says, thanks, Malakai. I can always count on you. And Malakai does this without consulting Elise. So he pretty much manages the finances. He's like, I don't know, they're both kind of the bankroll for one another, but he manages the finances, and Elise honestly doesn't care to like touch anything finance related. Oh, wait, Tina just came over. Hi, Tina. She's actually coming over to say hello. How sweet. I wonder what she wants. Is she just coming to say hi? Because that's really, really sweet. Maybe we should invite her in. Malakai isn't really up for guests. I'm kind of painting him out to be like this terrible person. He really is not at all. He's just very to himself. But he's actually going to make some dinner for everyone as long as Tina's staying. Are you staying? Are you coming or are you going? Should you stay or should you go? I don't know. Oh, how sweet. Ooh, and she can brag about owning things. She's going to brag about owning planters. There are snippets of her personality that are still going to come out a little bit, right? I mean, let's just be honest. But it is part of the Green Initiative, so she's going to brag about that a little bit. And she actually might go ahead and show her some of the pictures that she put in the blog, because they didn't get to actually look at them before she left and updated the blog itself. And she is going to chat about property values, because she is a little bit curious as to how the property values are kind of like leveling out a little bit. There haven't been any drastic changes in the community yet, but she is curious because if they up the value of their home or try to, are they going to kind of hit a roadblock with that? Think about it. If they actually really increase the value of their home, that means that homes around it are going to increase in value as well. But they won't be basically as luxurious if this town doesn't really kind of like up itself. I don't know. It definitely makes a difference as to what the property values are. So she's curious, and she's calling everyone to a meal. So they're just going to have this nice garden salad that Malakai prepared. If Tina feels like she would like a salad, maybe she doesn't. But Malakai actually hasn't met her yet either, so he's going to say hello, and he's going to kind of try to get to know her a little bit. He's a little bit more reserved about this. The first question he's going to ask is, what's your career, Tina? Because he doesn't know what she actually does for work. So he's going to try to get to know her a little bit, and they're clearly going to walk around as they kind of eat. And Malakai learned that Tina is a freelance crafter, which I think he honestly looks down on. I don't think he really understands. And what he's going to try to do is conduct a product survey as well. Since she's a member of the community, he's going to try to see like, hey, we're making this thing at work. Would you find this useful for what you do? And he's also going to brag about owning planters because, well, that's pretty much what this couple is about. They basically brag about what they have. And the product survey went really well. He basically did some focus testing, and he's excited to get back to the office with new ideas to improve his current project. So it looks like Tina is playing with play in the bathroom. But she's like really receptive to pretty much anyone. She seems really, really kind. Like she's very supportive of everyone. She wants to get to know everyone. And she really wants everyone to be successful and happy. So even though she doesn't really fully understand maybe what Malakai does for work, I think she just wanted to help and get to know her new neighbors and make them feel at home. Tuesday morning at 5:42 a.m., Bess is calling Malakai again. This time she says, I'm almost there in starting my company, but my pockets are running dry on simoleons. Think you can give me an extra 1,000 to get to the finish line? Oof. We have a few options. So we could give Bess 1,000 simoleons. We could say, sorry, I can't afford that right now. Or we can call them out for never paying you back. So let me just kind of backtrack here too, because in episode 1, Malakai was actually super insulted that Bess called like out of the blue asking for money. But basically what kind of changed his tune is that he did run into her at work and they've kind of worked together. So now he's a little bit more willing to kind of invest in things like this because like I said, he loves the backdoor deals. And you know what? I think he's going to just kind of go full on. And I think he's going to go ahead and give her 1,000 simoleons. I think he's going to. If she tries again, if she tries to ask for more money, we will call her out for never paying them back. But this time she says, thanks, Malakai. I can always count on you. Ooh, I don't know about this. I don't know if Bess is actually like a good guy or a bad guy now. Like, I really can't tell. And I think what's actually happening now, too, is he finally told Elise that he's been loaning Bess money for, like, some, you know, investment, some kind of, like, what Elise is assuming is a scam. And Elise is kind of mad at him. Like, she's a little irritated. She's like, well, you wouldn't let me get a recycler and try to do something like this because, you know, we have to save money and you didn't like the aesthetic or whatever, and yet you're just kind of like tossing money at this woman out of nowhere for some kind of project that Elise knows nothing about. Like, he didn't even talk to her about this. I don't know. I think Elise is starting to realize that it's going to be really hard for them to maybe fit in with this community. They're not exactly sure how it's going to work yet, but she's a little upset that basically Malakai is throwing away their money at some project that she knows nothing about. And I think she's actually going to finally tell him that she feels that way too. Like, I think she's going to honestly argue about it a little bit because she worked really hard for the money that she has. I mean, she left school just so she could work and stuff like that. And Malakai here, he obviously worked hard too, but he's also pretty selfish. I mean, both of them are. They both have their little selfish streaks. Look at how mad she is. Like, she is not happy at all with him. And I think basically what he has to do is essentially apologize. Like, he has to basically just like give her a hug, give her a kiss, at least tell her that everything's okay and that he won't do it again. Next time he'll consult her. But kind of in the back of his head, he's like, well, I'm glad I invested in this. You'll thank me later. Like, he thinks he's right no matter what. Look at them. Look at them argue away. This is actually kind of making me so sad. I would like it if they would stop arguing because I want them to make up. And look at, he's so rude. Like, he is so self-centered. He's just like ignoring her and completely like, I don't know, pushing her off. Oh my gosh. And they're still arguing from the other room. So I would like them to stop arguing now, actually. Please stop yelling. I did definitely have to cheat there. But yeah, I needed them to kind of stop yelling because that was a little much. So they're going to make up. They're going to be like, I'm sorry. You're right, I won't do it again. And Elise kind of lost her cool a little bit too. So hopefully their day can go a little bit better than it is going right now. And actually, Elise has to run upstairs. She didn't get that last image uploaded because of, you know, the fact that she had to like wait around, which is really annoying. So we're gonna actually do it now before her quote-unquote workday starts. And Malakai has to get ready for work today anyway. At least I think he's working. Yeah, he works today, but he works 10 to 6. Wow, that's actually kind of a late start. But Elise is going to upload that, finish up her workday. I think she's actually going to end up earning a promotion, which means that she gets to be a posh profiler or a dedicated dresser. So we'll read a little bit about those when that happens, because like she good to go. She good to go right now. And it happened. So she did just get a promotion. So Elise can become a stylist or a trendsetter right off the bat. In my head, she's going to be a trendsetter, but let's at least read these. So a stylist, voila, a snip here, a trim there, a pairing of this with that, and boom, a new dash of fashionable zoosh. Snap, snap, snap. That new title, it's so in right now. So that's a dedicated dresser. So I'm assuming that what that means for like her actionable work days is she would go around actually like styling people. So she would love to do that to the Tinkers, but a trendsetter as well. The task of a trendsetter is to create trends through the medium of fashion and clothing by affecting the look of the world. True peace may be achieved in our time. Sure. I think she's actually going to be a posh profiler, honestly. A stylist is very active, but she is more so on the back end a trendsetter. I'm making a total sweeping judgment call within the scope of this Let's Play, but like for her, a trendsetter, it's more so on the back end. It's very superficial. It's very like behind the glossy curtain, right? Where she's not really a stylist because I don't know, she doesn't actually want to actively go out and change people. She's more of like an observer. So I think kind of like setting those trends via like online mediums is more so her style. So we're going to do that, a trendsetter. And she has been promoted to posh profiler, and she now makes an additional 19 simoleons per hour, which is kind of cool. She got a bonus of $901 as well. And today, she actually has to up a few skills if she wants to continue to advance in this career. But she also has to upload images, so she'll have to do that throughout the day. And I'm not really sure exactly what she wants to take images of today, but Malakai is going to actually head into work. He's not going to stay home or anything. But she actually has to increase her charisma, writing, and photography, which is pretty wild. But she also wants to ensure that she's being active with the neighborhood action plan as well. And she wants to do some kind of like landscaping. I believe that they have a landscaper coming today to kind of like deal with all of these overgrown bushes and shrubs and weeds and everything. And what she's also thinking of doing is continuing to dabble with the candles, because she made a candle. She made her first candle. It is a dipped candle, and it is just plain white. There's no color added to it, no dyes. And I think what she wants to do is keep trying. She may even ask Tina for some tips and tricks. Some improvements have been made to the yard. So bright and early, they did have the professional landscaper come on down. They tore up all of the old bushes. They planted like brand new shrubs. There's tons of flowers. And Elise even bought this, what she considered beautiful. Ooh, look at that, assess impression. She's even going to come over here and check it out. But it was basically this handcrafted little birdhouse that she ended up purchasing from Etsy. We're going to call it Etsy, even though we know that there's basically a Sims version of Etsy coming, right? With the nifty knitting stuff pack. But she bought it. It was like $70. She thought that was such a steal for something so homemade. She wanted to really make it herself, but she doesn't know how to, and honestly, she wasn't really up for asking her friend Tina or Yasmin. She does consider Tina a friend. In fact, let's check out. They are good friends. Her and Tina are very good friends now. Not really so much with Yasmin, but she didn't really feel comfortable asking Tina to make something like this for her, and she honestly really wanted to. Oh no, she made $0 today. What do you mean? That's because she just got promoted this morning. That is so weird. All right. Well, we're going to work from home again. Clearly that was a little bit of a glitch there, but she really likes this little birdhouse, and she's hoping that one day she can make one herself. And even like the backyard, there was some updated shrubs. Not too much, but they really just cleared out all of like the brush. And same with over here. They kind of trimmed those hedges back big time. They planted some new flowers, and they actually had the brick redone on the outside of their house here too. They weren't able to basically do it on the inside, but they got this new paneling on the outside and removed some of the sidewalk that was a little cracked. And they actually laid down some new cement here leading towards the garden. So they did a lot of work to the house first thing in the morning. They had a lot of contractors in here, and it was very quick work. Malakai's going to be off to work, I think, very soon. Go to work. Yep, you can stop listening to music. You should go to work. You're now late. And we have to check in at the park. Travel to a gym or park to see the athletic attire. So that's her work task for today. So we're actually going to go ahead and take a look. We're just going to go ahead and do this. I usually don't show you guys the loading screens, but we're in it to win it right now. We gonna do it. Let's see. I don't think we don't even have a park here, right? Or a gym. We actually have to travel outside of Evergreen Harbor. So what she's actually going to do is Elise is going to travel back into the city, back home where she hasn't been for a little while now since she moved there. And she's going to go to the park to basically do her work from home assignment. But I think we might just skip over that because it won't be too exciting. As Elise is at the gym in San Myshuno, oddly enough, Nox is here, and he is an eco master. We have finally run into Nox outside of his initial like neighborhood introduction. So Elise actually is basically engaging him in conversation and complimenting his style because she actually really likes his greens in his workout attire. And to be frank, her work from home assignment is activewear in travel to German Park to see the athletic attire. I mean, she's seeing it. It's quite literally everywhere, and I'm not quite certain as to why this isn't counting and why it's not satisfied right now. I don't really fully understand. We're going to ask Nox to actually model a look. I don't know what kind of look, and I don't know what this is about to do. I feel like it's going to open like the catalog, and we're going to dress him real quick. I have no idea. But I suppose we'll see. That is an aggressive leg tattoo, sir. Bet you're from Sulani. And she's actually going to kind of like humor him and talk to him about the eco lifestyle as well. Oh, he's modeling the look. His athletic look, and she's like, oh. Look at you, Nox. Look at him go. He is all about this right now. He's a natural model, this one. Oh, just looking a little shy. A little precious. Yes. Yes, sweetie. Model it. Do it. There you go. Take some pictures of him. Perfect. That is what we wanted. And we're actually going to try to take a picture of him as well, just to see if he's up for it. I think we have the room here, right? Yeah, I don't really know how to check this off. To be frank, I'm going to cheat. There we go. Like, we did it. I had to cheat. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. And I was able to do that with the UI cheats extension, by the way. So, if you're curious as to that. But yeah, so we want to take a picture of him real quick to kind of document the athletic attire. And she's really intrigued by Nox, and Nox is kind of intrigued by her. He kind of thinks that she's a little stuck up. Honestly, he's not that entertained by her, and didn't really take to her as quickly as Tina did. I don't think he is as, I don't know, maybe just not as friendly. Oh, we're going to take a nice dashing picture. What a handsome man. We'll try to get a few others, actually, too, with a few other poses. No, not that one. But yeah, he's not as taken with her as Tina was. And I think it's going to take a little while for him to warm up to her, especially knowing he has now officially heard the rumors going around of her and Malakai's moving to Evergreen Harbor, and he is not a fan of Malakai at all. That's the face. That's the face he pretty much makes when someone mentions Malakai. And he also heard about the backdoor deal between Malakai and Bess, and he does not like Bess because Bess is always trying to push an industrial, like, modern footprint, and obviously Nox is not about that. He is about the green footprint. So yeah, this is going to be a fast friendship if one even forms, but Elise is going to head home to kind of wrap up her day here and maybe work on some skills. Elise is making her first dyed candles. So she had actually ordered some orange dye the other day, so now she's able to make a dipped candle, but it's going to be amber orange instead. And it seems as though Tina had actually popped on up here in the attic when we were not looking, and she started making a molded candle because we had to scrap it. It definitely wasn't Malakai. So she's making another candle, and she's feeling a little bit more confident, I think, in her abilities. As you can see, she's not burning herself as much as she did the first time. I could stand corrected. In like 2 seconds, she could absolutely burn herself, but her fabrication skill is actually up to 2. So she can keep doing this. Oh, and maybe learning not to burn herself, and potentially get that skill up a little bit higher as she really starts to dabble. She is honestly transforming before our eyes right now. I feel like even within the first 2 episodes, she has actually had like a major shift in, I don't know, kind of like her approach and outlook on the community as a whole. And she's trying to like subtly fit in. She feels as though she's not. Like, she internally feels a little bit resistant to it, but at the same time, she finds herself gravitating more towards actually partaking in some of the activities that the rest of the members of this community partake in, especially since she's become such close friends with Tina so fast. Like, that can't be a coincidence. That can't be something that just happened. Like, clearly these two have some kind of connection, even if they're a little bit resistant to finding it. They are definitely connected, and Elise is feeling pretty grateful for having someone to kind of talk to, and she's really noticing too that with Malakai trying to, or kind of being resistant to her getting, you know, the recycling machine, and kind of resistant really to her making the active moves towards what her goal is with this recycled couture fashion line. On the other end, she has Tina, who I mean, I think she's being kind, but she has Tina, who is being very supportive about it. Even if she thinks Elise is a little stuck up, even if she thinks that she's honestly kind of profiting off of a look and trying to make this lifestyle into more of a brand aesthetic thing, which Tina doesn't agree with, I think she supports Elise altogether because she does consider her a very good friend. I see that coffee did not last long at all. But this seems like a very good place to actually let this episode come to an end. So Elise is going to watch some World Culture Network because she thinks she's extraordinarily cultured. And we will wrap up this episode here. So I hope you guys did enjoy this. I will catch you next time I post an episode of the Eco Lifestyle EP, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.